Welcome to my educational series where you can improve your English proficiency and prepare for exams like TOEFL and IELTS. In this episode, we'll focus on an academic topic. You will hear talk followed by several questions. I recommend that you take some notes while listening because it will help you at the end of the conversation to answer all of the questions in the quiz correctly. So, let's get started.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're taking a close look at all the juicy details from the Tesla Innovations Report.
Definitely some interesting stuff in there.
Yeah, it looks like 2025 is going to be a pretty huge year for Tesla. I mean, for anyone who's following EVs, it's pretty clear that Tesla is the one to watch, but this report just has so many fascinating new details. Are you ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
Okay, great. So I think a natural place to start is the battery, since that's really the heart and soul of any EV.
Absolutely.
And this report highlights the 2025 Model 3. It looks like it's going to have a range of 606 kilometers.
Yeah, and the long-range version, I think it's going to be even higher than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let me just double-check. 713 kilometers.
Oh, okay, so 713 kilometers. That's like driving from New York to Chicago on a single charge. That's insane.
That's the future right there.
I know. So what's making that possible? I mean, obviously battery tech is constantly improving. Yeah. But is there something specific that's driving these huge leaps in range?
Well, one of the key factors is Tesla's shift to lithium iron phosphate batteries.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of those, LFPs.
Exactly. And these batteries, they just offer insane lifespans. We're talking potentially over 2 million miles.
Whoa, 2 million miles. That's crazy.
Yeah, so imagine owning your Tesla for decades and the battery is still going strong. That changes everything in terms of the cost and the overall sustainability of owning an EV.
That's a huge selling point. I mean, so much of the hesitation around EVs has been about battery life and replacement costs.
Right, and Tesla is basically tackling that head on.
So it's not just about the battery itself, though, right? I mean, there's got to be more to it.
You're absolutely right. Tesla's also completely revamped their battery management system to squeeze every last drop of performance out of those electrons. It's all about efficiency.
That makes sense. Okay, well, I want to talk about something that's really captured my imagination, and that's autopilot. I mean, this is an area where Tesla's always been pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, they're not afraid to be bold.
So what's new with autopilot in 2025?
Well, the core of the system is called Tesla Vision.
Tesla Vision.
Yeah. And this system relies on 8 360-degree cameras constantly feeding data to the car's neural networks. It's like giving the car eyes that can see everything.
Okay, so 8 cameras feeding into neural networks. That sounds really high tech, but what does it actually do?
Well, for starters, these networks can now predict pedestrian movements even in really busy urban environments. It makes driving much safer and smoother because the car can anticipate what's going to happen before it even happens.
So it's like having a second set of eyes constantly scanning the road.
Exactly. Imagine smoother lane changes, navigating traffic with more confidence, and a car that anticipates potential hazards before you even see them.
That sounds amazing.
Right.
It would definitely take a lot of the stress out of driving, especially in those tricky situations.
Right. And it's all thanks to these advancements in AI and computer vision.
So, okay, this all sounds really exciting, but what about range anxiety? I mean, long road trips. Yeah, that's a big concern for a lot of people who are thinking about switching to EVs.
Yeah, that's a valid concern, but that's where Tesla's supercharger network comes in.
Okay, so we're not talking about hours-long charging sessions anymore.
No way. Imagine this. You pull up to a supercharger, grab a coffee, and by the time you're done with your drink, your car's ready to go.
Furiously.
That's the reality of Tesla's fast charging infrastructure.
Wow, that's impressive.
It really does change the game. And it's not just Tesla that's benefiting. This whole fast charging infrastructure is really driving wider adoption of EVs across the board.
That makes sense. I mean, the more convenient it becomes, the less people are going to hesitate.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so speaking of pushing boundaries, we've got to talk about gigafactories. I mean, these massive facilities where Tesla is producing both batteries and vehicles, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's a bold move.
So can you break it down for us? What exactly is a gigafactory and why are they so important?
Sure. So gigafactories are basically enormous factories designed to optimize every step of the production process from raw materials to the finished product.
Okay, so everything's happening under one roof.
Right. And they're strategically located around the world in the US, Europe, and China.
So Tesla's really thinking globally.
Absolutely. And this approach has a few key advantages. First, it allows Tesla to scale production and keep up with that growing demand for EVs.
Makes sense.
But it also means that manufacturing is more efficient and localized, which reduces their environmental impact.
So it's not just about the cars themselves. It's about the whole manufacturing process being as sustainable as possible.
Exactly. They're trying to reimagine the whole system.
That's impressive. And it makes you wonder, could this gigafactory approach be applied to other industries? Like, could we see gigafactories revolutionizing the way we produce electronics, sustainable building materials, or even food?
Now there's a thought.
It really makes you think about the possibilities, doesn't it? So, to sum it all up, we've got game-changing batteries that are pushing the limits of range, autopilot technology that's making cars smarter and safer, this massive supercharger network that's making long-distance travel in an EV totally feasible, and gigafactories that are just as innovative as the cars they're producing.
It's a pretty impressive package.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it just reinforces the idea that Tesla is at the forefront of this whole EV revolution.
Yeah, they're definitely setting the pace.
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of Tesla innovations. It's clear that the future of transportation is going to be pretty exciting. Until next time.
Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have learned something new and useful, and see you in the next episode. Bye.